Did you know that nearly 1 in 4 engine fail happens because of simple, avoidable mistakes drivers make every day? And half of these are due to oil change mistakes. And the worst part? Most drivers don't even realize they're making these mistakes until it's too late. In this video, we're uncovering the 15 stupid oil change mistakes that ruin your engine, drain wallet, and destroy your car from the inside out. If you want your engine to last over 500,000 miles without blowing a gasket, literally, this is the video you need to watch all the way through. Let's dive in. Mistake number 15, using the wrong oil type or viscosity. One of the most common and dangerous mistakes people make is using the wrong oil viscosity or type for their engine. Modern engines are designed with ultra-tight tolerances, meaning the oil must flow and protect at very specific rates. Using a thicker oil than recommended like 10W40 instead of 5W30 can reduce lubrication on cold starts and strain components. On the flip side, thinner oil may not provide enough protection when the engine is hot. Always check your owner's manual for the exact grade, and don't rely on guesswork or what your buddy uses in his car. One wrong fill and you're risking premature wear or worse, engine seizure. Mistake number 14, not letting the engine warm up before draining oil. Draining cold oil might sound harmless, but it is one of the worst things you can do during an oil change. Think of cold oil like cold honey, thick, sticky, and slow to move. When you try to drain it straight from a cold engine, a large portion clings to internal components and refuses to come out. This leftover oil carries contaminants like carbon, metal shavings, and moisture, which will mix with the fresh oil and reduce its effectiveness. But here's the fix. Just warm up your engine for 5 to 10 minutes. That small step thins the oil, allowing it to drain smoothly and completely. You'll end up with a much cleaner system and better protection for your engine. This isn't just a mechanic's tip. It's an engine-saving move. Mistake number 13, waiting too long between oil changes. Modern cars are amazing, but they're not magic. No matter how advanced your engine is, oil still breaks down over time. Pushing your oil change past its limit lets contamination build up and reduces its ability to lubricate, clean, and protect the engine. Even full synthetic oil has a limit, which is about 7,500 miles. And if you mostly drive short trips or in stop-and-go traffic, your oil wears out even faster. Waiting too long may also lead to complete failure of your engine. Always follow your maintenance schedule and don't rely on just the oil life percentage. Pair it with your mileage too. Mistake number 12. Failing to remove the oil filler cap before draining. This might seem like a tiny detail, but forgetting to open the oil filler cap before draining can make your oil change way less effective. When the cap is left on, a vacuum forms inside the engine, which slows down the flow of oil as it tries to drain. As a result, a significant amount of old oil stays behind in the engine, even though it seems like it has been fully drained. This leftover oil mixes with your fresh oil, which reduces its purity and shortens the effective service life. Taking off the filler cap allows air to enter the system and equalize pressure, and let the gravity do its job. Always start your oil change by opening the filler cap. It's a free step that improves the quality of the oil change. Mistake number 11, skipping the oil filter replacement. Think changing just the oil is enough? Think again. Your oil filter is the unsung hero that traps metal particles, carbon buildup, and engine sludge. Leaving an old filter in place is like putting fresh milk in a dirty glass. It ruins the whole purpose of oil change. Worse, a saturated filter can clog and activate its bypass valve that may allow dirty, unfiltered oil to flow directly to engine components. This defeats the entire purpose of doing an oil change in the first place. A $5 to $15 filter can prevent thousands of dollars in engine repairs. Always replace the oil filter every time you change your oil. It's cheap insurance for your engine. Mistake number 10, not filling the new oil filter before installation. A lot of drivers skip this step, thinking it's unnecessary, but failing to pre-fill your oil filter before installation can cause a dry start that harms your engine. When you install an empty filter, it takes several seconds for your engine to pump oil into it and reach full pressure. And during that dry window, your bearings, lifters, and camshaft are spinning with almost no lubrication. This might not cause instant damage, but over time, repeated dry starts contribute to excessive wear on the internal parts of your engine. Pre-filling the filter gives your engine an instant supply of oil the moment it cranks. It's especially important on large filters and engines with vertical mounting positions. Mistake number 9, over-tightening the oil filter. Many people believe that cranking the oil filter tight ensures no leaks, but this approach backfires. Oil filters are designed to seal with just a snug hand-tight turn. When you over-tighten them, you risk crushing the rubber gasket, which can cause leaks under pressure or even blowouts at high RPMs. Worse, an over-tightened filter can become nearly impossible to remove during your next oil change. Always apply a light coat of oil to the gasket, spin the filter on until it touches the base, and then give it about 3/4 of a turn more by hand. Using tools to over-tighten a hand-tightened filter is unnecessary and dangerous. Mistake number 8, not using a new crush washer on the drain plug. Some certain vehicles, especially Japanese brands like Honda, Toyota, and Subaru, require a crush washer or sealing washer on the drain plug to create a perfect leak-free seal. But here's the catch. It's designed to deform once and then get replaced. Therefore, reusing the same washer can cause micro leaks, as the metal has already been compressed and can't seal properly a second time. If your car uses one, always replace it with every oil change. It's cheap insurance against expensive repairs. Mistake number 7, over-tightening or under-tightening the drain plug. Getting the drain plug torque wrong is one of the most common mistakes in oil changes. If you over-tighten it, you risk stripping the threads of the oil pan. And if oil pan threads become damaged, you may need pan replacement or thread retapping, both of which are costly. Some people even crack aluminum pans or damage the plug's washer, which may cause persistent leaks. But under-tightening is just as dangerous. Always use a torque wrench and follow the manufacturer's specifications, which typically range from 20 to 30 feet-pounds. That little tool can save your engine and your wallet. Mistake number 6, not lubricating the new filter gasket. This tiny step is one of the most overlooked in the entire oil change process, and skipping it can lead to a major mess or even engine damage. Every new oil filter comes with a rubber gasket that needs to seal tightly against the engine. But if you install it dry, that gasket can bunch up, tear, or stick to the engine block. Worse, when it's time for your next oil change, the gasket might not come off cleanly. The fix is incredibly simple. Just dip your finger into the new oil and lightly coat the gasket before installing. That thin film of oil ensures a smooth, tight seal and makes future removal effortless. It's a 5-second step that can prevent a $5,000 mistake. Number 5, using low-quality or cheap engine oil. Saving a few bucks by buying cheap oil might seem smart at the register, but it could cost you thousands down the road. Low-quality oil often lacks the proper additives your engine needs to stay clean, resist oxidation, and handle high heat. These oils break down faster, lose their lubricating power quicker, and can leave behind sludge and varnish that slowly choke your engine from the inside. High-quality oil isn't just about performance, it's about protection. Always choose a reputable brand that meets or exceeds your vehicle's requirements. Mistake number 4, overfilling the oil. More oil must be better, right? Wrong. Too much oil is just as dangerous as too little. When you overfill your engine, the crankshaft dips into the oil and whips it into a foam. That foam isn't oil anymore. It can't lubricate anything. Worse, it raises crankcase pressure, forcing oil past seals and gaskets and causing leaks. This creates a chain reaction of problems such as oil starvation, overheating, burning oil, and eventually engine failure. Always check your dipstick after filling and aim for the sweet spot, not too low, but definitely not past the high mark. A little extra can turn into a lot of damage. Mistake number 3, skipping the final check after running the engine. You've drained the oil, swapped the filter, filled it back up, and you're ready to call it a day, right? Not so fast. One of the biggest mistakes DIYers make is skipping the final check after running the engine for a few minutes. Once the engine runs, oil circulates through the new filter and fills all the oil passages, meaning the level on the dipstick will drop. If you don't recheck and top it off, your engine might be running low. This step also lets you spot leaks from a loose drain plug or improperly sealed filter before they turn into a disaster on the highway. Just shut the engine off, wait about 3 to 5 minutes for the oil to settle, then check the dipstick and inspect underneath. It's the final 2-minute step that separates a perfect oil change from a potential engine failure. Mistake number 2, refilling oil too fast. You might be in a rush, but dumping new oil into the engine too quickly can actually cause problems. When you pour oil too fast, especially through a narrow filler neck, it doesn't have time to flow evenly into the crankcase. Instead, it can back up and overflow, spilling all over the engine bay, which not only makes a mess, but could damage sensors or insulation. The fix is simple. Pour your oil slowly in stages and allow it to settle between pours. It takes an extra minute or two, but ensures proper flow, clean filling, and smooth engine operation. Mistake number 1, checking the oil on uneven ground. Many people casually check their oil level while parked on a sloped driveway or uneven surface, not realizing how misleading the reading can be. When your car isn't parked on level ground, the oil inside the sump shifts to one side, giving you a false reading on the dipstick. Depending on which way the slope tilts, it might look like you have too much oil or just enough, when in reality you could be running dangerously low or even overfilled. For the most accurate dipstick reading, always park on level ground and wait a few minutes after shutting the engine off to let the oil settle. This ensures the oil has drained back into the pan and gives a true reading. That's all for this video. Avoiding these mistakes can mean the difference between an engine that lasts 300,000 miles and one that dies at 80,000 miles. And how many of these oil change mistakes have you made? Let us know in the comment below. See you in the next video.